Okay, so now we're going to talk about what is debatably the most important portion of really becoming a master at Facebook advertising, which is retargeting. So when we talk about conversion ad campaigns, it's important to understand kind of the difference. So conversion ads means that you are technically retargeting, similar people who have performed actions on your site. So like if 100 people purchase and you run a conversion campaign on a lookalike audience of those purchasers, then technically it is retargeting. But you want to think about that as a conversion campaign. You want to think of retargeting as literally retargeting specific people. So if Kevin David comes to your website selling makeup, then you can retarget me to show me ads from your site. Me specifically, not a lookalike audience, not like an estimation from Facebook's ad campaign data, literally retarget me personally. So we are going into one of my older ad accounts, one of my millions, and we're going to look at one of my retargeting campaigns specifically, because I think it literally, you have to kind of see it for your own eyes to really understand. So if we look at some of the naming nomenclature here, we see I was targeting people who have seen or visited anything on my Facebook feeds for product research. I'm targeting people who have visited my order form. So this is for my Amazon FBA course. So let's actually jump in and take a look so we can really kind of get as detailed as possible in this. And most people probably would not show you guys this, but I want to be crystal clear and really try as hard as I possibly can to make it as replicatable as possible. And so we are going to talk about exactly who we're targeting, retargeting. So these people have already come into my ecosystem. They've already been pixeled. They've already visited my webpage. They've already engaged with some of my content in some way. And we're using the beauty and the power of the Facebook pixel to retarget them, to remind them about me, to remind them about my golf products in Shopify's case. I'm just showing this in case, in the context of my Amazon FBA course, because I just don't have much retargeting data for my brand new Shopify store that I'm setting up, just to show you guys exactly how to do it. So who are we targeting? Include people who are in at least one of the following. So we're targeting everyone who has visited my Ninja course order form page. So I use ClickFunnels. So I have a sales page where I show how awesome I am. I have an order page where you actually put in your payment information to join the course. And then after that, you see a thank you page. So I have my pixel on all three pages. So we're targeting people who have seen my order page where you actually go to purchase the course, but this is important. We are excluding people who are in at least one of the following. So anybody who we have their email and they have purchased, we set up our offline conversions to basically track email addresses of people who've purchased. We're excluding everyone who reached the thank you page, meaning that they bought, right? If somebody buys on the order page, the next page that they get routed to is the thank you page. So we don't want to retarget people who've already bought the course, because that would be a waste of money. And try to understand exactly why we're doing it this way, and then duplicate it to your own specific needs, right? We're excluding everybody who is on our customer list, all Ninja customers for this week and all Ninja customers for the 27th. So this was an older campaign, which is why we have these two right here. So let's take a look at another one and let's talk about exactly why we did it that way. So for this specific one, we're actually just duplicating the same thing, but this is for Facebook feeds only, and this is for Instagram feeds only, which is important to note. So we're going to talk about how to optimize your campaigns, because what we're seeing here is we're paying $1 per click for Facebook feeds, and we're paying $1.34 per click for Instagram feeds. So this is actually significantly cheaper, and we're getting significantly more actual clicks. So let's take a look at another one. We can look at one that's actually giving us the best cost per result. And we're going to talk about how to kind of interpret these in one of the next videos. Realistically, you can customize the columns to be super useful, and I'll show you exactly how to do that. But for right now, let's take a look at the one. We got 236 clicks, so one of the most clicks we got, and it was by far the cheapest, so 86 cents instead of $1.90, $1.34. So let's take a look at this one and see, maybe we can see why that is. So this is targeting everyone who visited the Ninja course order form page. So they were putting their payment information in, or they visited my site in the last 14, 30, 45, 60 days. They engaged with my Facebook page, my official Kevin David page, and this would be the same exact thing for Golf Ninjas, guys. I'm just showing you it in this way because I already have a bunch of data that I can show it, because you're going to have to interpret it into your own kind of product lines. It's never going to be exactly the same. So I mean, I can talk about it in the case of Golf Ninjas, but it's the exact same idea for all of this, guys. So, anybody who engaged with my Golf Ninjas page or my official Kevin David page in the last 14, 7, 30, 45 days, and anyone who watched 10 seconds of any video that I posted on my official Kevin David page. So if I post let's say for Golf Ninjas, if I post a video of how to use my little trainer tool, and I post it onto my Facebook page, and people are watching it, people are liking it, I can retarget. So let's say my friend Jim or some guy named Jim watches 30 seconds of my video that I made, or 11 seconds, or whatever it is, just above 10. I can retarget him, and I can literally serve Jim an ad specifically saying 50% off for this golf trainer. And I hope you guys are getting excited by that, because it's an unbelievably powerful way to retarget. Retargeting is how you differentiate profitable Facebook campaigns from not profitable Facebook campaigns. It's how you differentiate real profit and sales for your dropshipping store or your Amazon store or whatever it is, and not being profitable. And I want to repeat that. Mastering retargeting is how you differentiate yourself and become profitable. And I mean that. If you get creative and everybody who visits your site, or everybody who engages with your page, or everybody who watches X amount of time on your videos, or all these different ways to be creative and retarget everyone who sees your order page but not your thank you page. You can retarget people based on leads. You can retarget people based on purchases. You can retarget people based on viewing content on certain pages. It's a truly beautiful way to actually be able to serve these ads again, remind people that you've already, it's what's called a warm audience. They already know about your store. They already know about who you are. And so when you remind them, then maybe they're in a better situation. Maybe they have more time. Maybe they're relaxing on the couch and they feel like buying some golf accessories, right? Maybe before, when they saw your ad, they were rushing to work. And so reminding people through retargeting is really how you differentiate yourself. So let's go and actually set up a couple of these audiences, just so you guys can know, because these look kind of complicated if you've never seen them before. So we're going to set up a few audiences from scratch right now. All right, guys, so let's go actually into our audience section. And we're going to build out a few custom audiences, and then we're going to build out a lookalike audience just to kind of tie it all together. I know I explained exactly how to do it, but I think that it's important to actually really see somebody do it for yourself. And a lot of the other so-called gurus out there just tell you how to do it, but don't actually show you. And I am going to show you, even though it's actually harder. So what we're going to do, and we're going to do a website traffic custom audience here. And so what we're going to do is we are going to include people who meet any of the following, and website visitors, and I think the longest is 180 days here. So we're going to include people who meet all of the following criteria. All website visitors, no. We are going to do people who visited specific web pages. So how this works on Shopify is, if you want to create a custom audience of all of the people who've ever visited your site, you can do that. But once you have a lot of data, once you have people who are checking out and buying and things like that, then really what you want to target is people who come to your purchase page, right? So it's not people who just have looked at your site. It's literally people who have gotten as far as your purchase page, but have not bought. Or maybe you want to retarget people who have bought and make a custom audience out of that, right? You want to test everything. But for right now, we're going to actually create an audience of people who've been to the order page but have not been to the thank you page, which means that they were almost about to buy, but then for some reason they didn't complete their transactions. So this is how we do that. So on Shopify, we're just going to go to any specific product, and we are going to click it. So once we actually add this to cart, our hurry timer looks kind of nice right there. We're going to add this to cart, and we are going to actually initiate our checkout. So this means that the person, got this far, they're maybe about to put their payment information in, or whatever the case may be. And then what we see here is in the URL, we see golfninjas.com / and they have a number, but /checkouts, right? And so what's important about this, guys, is how we set up custom audiences of people who visit specific web pages and do not visit specific web pages. So we only want to target people who come to our purchase page but do not purchase. So how we're going to do that is we're going to target people who visited specific web pages based on the URL containing this. And so what we're going to do is /checkouts. So the URL itself contains /checkouts, and we are going to refine further by excluding people who have visited another web page, and we want this web page to have the URL containing the thank you, right? And so this is the beauty. It's a little hard to set up for the very first time, but then once you really understand it, it makes a ton of sense. So this is the checkout page / checkouts. This is the thank you page after they purchase, and it's the same for your Shopify store as well. It's going to be /_thank you, so you can just copy and paste it exactly how I have it. It's going to work for you too. Is exclude people who meet any of the following criteria. Exclude people who have visited website pages containing /thank you. And now the custom audience is only going to include people who have visited the checkout page but have not visited the thank you page, meaning they almost bought but didn't. And so we're going to call this one visited checkout page but not thank you. And so then we're going to create this custom audience. And then once we create this custom audience, guys, we can go and create a lookalike audience from it. And we would literally just you choose the source as visited checkout page, but not thank you. And we can make it for the USA, we can make it for Canada, we can make it for the UK, we can make it for Australia. And then we choose the audience size, making it 1 out of 10 makes it the most specific, and normally it would be the most profitable. And so let's talk about another example of a custom audience we could make. So we could do all website visitors. So let's say that we wanted to make a custom audience just of everyone who's ever visited our Shopify site. Again, it's quite easy. We do the last 180 days to have the most data we can possibly have. And then literally we just call this all website visitors. Create the audience, and it's just that simple, guys. And once we do that, we can create a lookalike audience, populate it with all website visitors, whatever location we want, and we can just create more and more audiences. And once we have the data, so what we're going to do again is we're going to do the engagement ads to get social proof, traffic just to get some data into our pixel, and then once we have data into our pixel, that is when we can really get creative, start making custom audiences of people who visited our site or visited the order page or visited the thank you page. If we want to make a custom audience of people who a lookalike audience of people who've purchased from us, right? And then we can run a conversion campaign on the people who've purchased from us to let Facebook's algorithm actually start to optimize for to find people who share similarities with the people who've already purchased from us. So I get excited. I think you guys, if you're understanding all of the things we can do, all of the different audiences we can create, and then from these audiences we can further narrow it, right? So once we create a lookalike audience of all of our website visitors, so people who share variability with all of our website visitors, we have 2 million of them now because we made a lookalike audience from the custom audience of all of our website visitors. Once we have that 2 million people of people who like golf, who are in the same age range and the same gender and things like that, then we can start adding additional narrowers. So maybe now from that 2 million in that lookalike audience, maybe now we only target people who also like Rory McIlroy or who also like Titleist or another popular golf brand, right? And so it starts to get really fun, it starts to get artistic, and then you can kind of cross and split test things. And we're going to talk about how to actually optimize Facebook campaigns, knowing what to pause, how much you should spend before you can make kind of a determination of whether an ad is successful or not, and how to actually scale your ads. So I hope you enjoyed this one, guys, and let's get to the next.